story opens with a girl laughing hard at the main character, telling him to show them how pathetic he looks when he's frustrated. Her laugh gets louder, ordering him to entertain her. She scoffs that even being childhood friends with him is already a stain on her life. In that instant, something inside him cracked. Rua isn't just any girl. She's a national idol and the granddaughter of Taizo Takayashiki, the powerful chairman of the colossal Tikai Group, a mega corporation with influence stretching across the whole country. Her wealth and status are so far removed from the average person, she's like a perfect princess. In stark contrast, the boy's name is Kazuma Suzuki, a dull, withdrawn student with no girlfriend, no social life, and not even a single friend. He's the textbook definition of an outcast. If there's anything remotely notable about him, it's being the childhood friend of the radiant Rua Takayashiki, and that's it. He spent his life buried in her shadow, but unlike her, he doesn't dream of standing out. He just wants a normal life, a few real friends, and maybe someone to love. He once shared that dream with Rua. Her response? She laughed in his face, calling him an idiot. She said someone like him, a social outcast, should learn his place. The only reason he mattered was that he happened to be her childhood friend. According to her, he'd already exhausted every ounce of luck life had granted him. She made sure he never forgot it. This type of words had been said to him since they were kids, by her. Know your place and stay in your lane. That face of yours? Know your limits. It had been weighing down on him like a curse. Still, he clung to his wish for a normal life. And with that fragile hope, he stepped into the spring of his first year in high school, lost in the pages of a novel. Then his phone buzzed. A message from Rua. She asked him to be at the station by 3. She was going to karaoke with Ayaka and the others. The name, Ayacha, flashed through his mind. A flamboyant Gyaru girl he had never even spoken to. Rua kept texting, reminding him of how he once said he wanted friends, and a girlfriend. She said this was his golden opportunity, to join her elite group, to take the first step if he really wanted change. Kazuma convinced himself. This was it, his chance if he wanted to change. He dressed as best he could, even mustering the courage to visit a hair salon. Then he headed to karaoke. He opened the door, ready to unveil a new version of himself. But the room was already alive, with laughter. Rua's friends burst out in hysterics the moment they saw him. They pointed at him, sneering at the fact that he actually showed up. Some said he looked disgusting. Others mocked the fact that he'd even bothered to get a haircut. The girls kept giggling, saying they could literally smell the salon shampoo on him. Rua told them to stop, saying he probably tried his best to look good. Then, she laughed too. But that girl, Ayaka, was silent. And just like that, everything became clear to Kazuma. This was never about change. This was just a setup to make him look like a clown. Rua walked up to him, asking why he was just standing there. With a grin, she told him to cry, for her amusement. She even bet 10,000 yen that he'd burst into tears. Kazuma stood silent for a moment, then asked quietly if he had done something. Something so horrible that he deserved this kind of humiliation. He asked again, had he really done anything wrong? Rua's response was sharp and cruel. She pointed right at him and declared it was obvious. The reason was simple, because he was her toy, her slave. She told him to entertain her, to show everyone how miserable he looked when broken. Her smile twisted into something wicked, and added that just having him as her childhood friend was already unbearable. That was when it happened. Something inside Kazuma finally snapped. But it wasn't rage. It was the sound of a bond shattering. He looked at her, and with calm, bitter clarity, he agreed. He told her he felt exactly the same way, and that they should end their so-called friendship right then and there. Rua stood frozen, stunned by Kazuma's sudden defiance. Her voice rose into a shriek as she demanded to know what he meant. Who did he think he was? But Kazuma calmly fired back, asking if she hadn't just said she hated him. She snapped, telling him not to be ridiculous, calling him a delusional fool. She could hate him all she wanted, but he had no right to hate her back. In that moment, Kazuma finally understood what true privilege looked like. So this was the apex of Japan's idol society? A girl like her perched at the very top of popularity, worshipped like royalty? What a joke, he thought. What a twisted world. He suddenly slammed the table with force, making the room fall silent. Before leaving, he turned toward her with one final look and said he meant every word. Then without another word, he walked out. Rua stood speechless. One of her friends scoffed, calling Kazuma's exit cringe, and accusing him of trying too hard to act cool. Another girl shrugged it off, telling Rua she shouldn't waste her time caring about that loser. Then someone noticed something strange. The table he slammed now had visible cracks running through it. "Is it broken?" one of them asked, blinking. Noise spread. Someone joked that maybe he had powers. Another girl immediately dismissed it, saying it had to be broken already. Nobody could break a solid table with bare hands unless they weren't human. "Yeah, that's right," another voice chimed in, half joking, half worried. Suddenly, the laughter stopped. The air turned cold. Rua stood trembling. One of her friends leaned in, asking nervously, "Rua, is it true?" She said nothing. Then she shouted out, filled with frustration, screaming that she would never forgive Kazuma for cutting her off like that. Meanwhile, Kazuma stepped outside into the sunlight, a strange sensation washing over him. Freedom? He felt lighter. The sky seemed clearer, the world brighter. For the first time, he questioned why he had ever followed Rua's commands like a trained dog. He'd rather be alone in high school than crawl behind that monster wearing a human mask. From then on, he didn't need to live as her shadow anymore. Because now, he was free. That same night, far above the ordinary world, inside the headquarters of the Teikai Group, Taizo Takayashiki, the company's chairman and headmaster of Taki Academy, was quietly reading through documents. At his side stood Sakura Taki, Rua's cousin, casually engaged in conversation. Then Rua burst in, calling out, "Grandfather!" The grandfather looked up, delighted to see her. She stomped forward with a pout, complaining bitterly that Kazuma had been mean to her, that he told her he wanted to end their friendship. This caught Sakura's attention and asked if that was true. Rua added that he was probably bored. Rua huffed, still seething, calling Kazuma a jerk. He had never stood up to her before. But Sakura paused. She stared at Rua and asked point blank, had she said something awful to him? Rua flinched. She quickly denied it. "It's not like I said anything that bad," she stammered. "Just stuff like, he's my slave, and how having him as a childhood friend is already awful enough. That's all." Sakura gave her a blank stare. "That's a horrible thing to say." Her grandfather quietly added, "It's no surprise Kazuma was upset." Rua's expression twisted in disbelief. Her grandfather, taking Kazuma's side? Desperate to defend herself, she nervously said it wasn't serious. Just teasing him a little. She explained that ever since Kazuma started high school, he suddenly began talking about making friends and finding a girlfriend. She asked with disbelief if that wasn't just weird enough. Sakura asks what's weird about this. It's quite normal. Rua yelled that it wasn't normal. That Kazuma already had her, the world's most adorable idol, Princess Rua, by his side. And yet he dared to want other people in his life, especially other girls. Ridiculous. That's why, she claimed, she was just a little mean. A little teasing never hurts anybody. That's all. She argued that no one in the world could understand Kazuma more than she did. And then her voice softened for a moment. She yells, "I love him!" Her grandfather suddenly changed sides. "You're right. Kazuma's in the wrong." Sakura narrowed her eyes as she watched his doting side emerge like a spell cast over the room. Cora muttered that if Rua really wanted to patch things up, she should be the one to do it. But before she could finish her sentence, Rua exploded. "There's no way!" She whirled toward Cora and demanded her, as Kazuma's mentor, to fix this somehow, and make Kazu apologize to her, the cute Rua, then make him say "I love you, Princess Rua," and kiss her. Cora chuckles lightly, saying, "A kiss might be too much." Then, with a sly grin, she turns to Rua's grandfather and asks, "Are you seriously planning to make Kazu Rua's husband?" Without hesitation, the old man nods. "Of course. That's why I'm assigned you as his mentor to train him in combat, leadership, everything he needs to reach his full potential. Rua also likes him, and a talent like him is rare." Sakura doesn't deny it. In fact, she agrees wholeheartedly. Since elementary school, Kazuma's grades were always perfectly average, straight threes. But that wasn't due to a lack of ability. He was deliberately holding himself back, trying to blend into the background, just so he could remain quietly in Rua's shadow. If he ever got serious, Korra says, he wouldn't just pull the perfect score in the entire school. No, the entirely Japan would lose its mind. He is absurdly popular with girls, though Kazuma has no clue. I had to transfer more love-struck girls out of his class than I can count, she admits. Rua puffs her chest proudly, taking it as proof. Of course, that's because he belongs to me. The chairman nods again, pleased. That's exactly what makes him a worthy heir to the Teikai group. Korra stays quiet for a moment, her thoughts elsewhere. Now that Kazuma has cut ties with Rua, he's no longer bound to suppress his abilities. In academics, athletics, even romance, things might spiral quickly out of control. The next morning, the school is buzzing. Whispers fill the halls. Did you hear? Someone named Suzuki, or whatever his name is, tried to defy Princess Rua. As Kazu walks to class, he spots something. His desk and chair, pushed aside with a note taped to them. No seat for you, lol. He looks at it calmly. He already suspected it, but now it's crystal clear. His childhood friend, the super-rich heiress and beloved idol, is the worst kind of person there is. In a situation like this, there are usually two options. 1. Quietly return your desk and attend class without making a fuss. That's what most students would do. Keep their heads down. 2. Report it to the teacher's office. But that isn't an option here, because this is Teikai Academy, a school unlike any other. Its mission, cultivate S-class talent and make the academy #1 in the world. To the public, it's known as the S-class academy. Studies, sports, entertainment, top performers in each field receive tuition and dormitory waivers, and they attract the elite scholarship students from across the nation. Those with outstanding talents are upper class, the rest of the ordinary people are lower class. It's an unspoken caste system, sometimes subtle, sometimes brutal. At the very top of that system is one name, Taki Rua, granddaughter of the headmaster himself. Of course, the bald homeroom teacher sucks up to her like she's divine. If he brings complaints to the staff room, the outcome is crystal clear. The verdict was decided long before he could speak. So Kazu doesn't choose either option. Instead, he chooses a third. He pulls out his pen, calmly adds a note to the same piece of paper. Since that's the case, I'll self-study. This is an order from Taki-san. Please handle the attendance accordingly. Suzuki Katsuma. The students around him stare, dumbfounded. Wait, can he actually do that? That guy doesn't fear Princess Rua. Kazu says nothing. He turns and walks away. He knows it'll be annoying if anyone finds him, so he decides to vanish somewhere out of sight. Eventually, he finds the perfect place. Quiet, hidden, untouched by chaos. The underground library. A space unknown to students, and even most teachers. A place only someone like him, a reclusive bookworm, would know about. He'd heard of it from a senior in the library committee. He will kill time during classes. He just wanted a normal life, but since he defied her, making friends or getting a girlfriend is probably impossible now. In this case, at least, he hoped she would let him live in peace, alone. He thought while holding the handle, then he pulled the door open. But the first sight was a girl pulling down her skirt, midway changing her clothes with her gait directed towards him. She panicked, and the next thing he remembered was a painful ringing in his ears. She was yelping. Kazuma had no idea that his quiet days would start with girls who were anything but quiet. From this moment on, nothing in his life would be called peaceful ever again. Meanwhile, back in class, Rua was waiting, head held high, lips curled into a smug smile. Any second now, Kazu would come crawling back with an apology. She did upload a video to YouTube to push him to the edge. Her YouTube channel explodes with activity, 1 million subscribers and counting. She started the video by showing her cute side while greeting her subs. Then she started talking about something that happened to her. She begins, the other day she went to karaoke with her classmates, obviously only girls, because boys, she can't talk to them because they are terrifying. She rolls her eyes dramatically, sighing, and resumes by shadow, tagging Kazu into the subject, saying that one of her group was a total buzzkill, just sat there grumpy the whole time. Then, halfway through, that person was like, I'm going home. This totally killed the vibe. Rua pouts. then tells her fans not to be like that awful person who ruins the fun. Then, shifting gears, she announced exciting news. She's teaming up with a rising voice actress, Minato Emanane, to form a new idol unit and release a debut CD. She's in her agency and even in her school. They are like soulmates. Rua squeals with glee. Their first event is scheduled for next Sunday at Shine Mall. Free entry, and Rua will be waiting for them. The comments flooded in immediately, with a lot of trolls about whose even is this girl called Aman, and others want to beat up the person who embarrassed their Princess Rua. At the underground library, Kazu's head was tilted a little, his back to the closed door, apologizing, sorry for earlier. I'm Kazuma, Class 1-3. The girl puts up a t-shirt, then replies softly, I'm a main Minato, from Class 3. Sorry for yelling. Kazuma takes full responsibility, saying he should have checked before entering. He asks, did you also hear about this place from the library committee? And she confirms it. So he wasn't the only one who knew of this hideaway. She pulls up her shorts, then opened the door to tell him that it was okay now. Sorry to keep you waiting, she added shyly. Kazu pauses, then asks seriously, why the gym clothes? And more importantly, why were you changing her? She looks down half blushing but quickly explains that she needed a place to practice singing and dancing. Then she remembered the spot and figured it'd be empty. Then, with a nervous tune, she explains more that she's actually a voice actress, and she has an upcoming unit live, so she thought she could practice here. Kazuma nods. So you're from the entertainment world too? He already knows the type. Several entertainers are enrolled in this academy. The school has high expectations for them. Then he notices something else. She had brought a full-length mirror with her, clearly prepared for a proper rehearsal. Her dedication is obvious. Still, what about her class? Minato frowns and explains that when she arrived this morning, her desk and chair were in the hallway, with a note that said, no seat for you. Kazu stiffens. He's heard that exact phrasing before. Looking closer, he realizes she still had tears in her eyes when he walked in. Before he can respond, his phone buzzes. It's a flood of notifications. Rua.car. Where are you? Aren't you late? Did you see my video? Everyone's calling you a jerk. Should I leak your name in the next one? Let my fans swarm you, you know? Just come and drag your pitiful desk back in. If you kneel and beg, I might even forgive you. Kazu stares at the screen in silence, then taps. Block. Calm silence settles in the underground library. Kazu exhales and turns to Minato. Why are you going through something like this? He asks. Aren't you a special scholarship student? Minato quickly shakes her head. No, that's not true at all. She explains a little bitterly that although she's technically a voice actress, she's not popular, not a face, and certainly not a voice. Kazu tilts his head, looking at her. Well, I can't see your face clearly with your bangs like that, but your voice, it sounds cute, kinda like a bell rolling softly. It's a pleasantly memorable sound. Minato freezes, caught off guard. Her cheeks flushed pink. Then she holds her cheeks, panicking. That's absolutely not true. There are way better voices out there, she stammers, turning away. Especially in the idol and voice actress world. Compared to someone like Ruataki, I'm nothing. Her voice trails off. Even so, she ended up being paired in a unit with Rua. And that, she says, is probably why she's being targeted. Her expression darkens as she continues. Even yesterday my social media blew up. People kept saying that if I team up with their princess, Rua's reputation would tank. Kazu listens silently. Inside, a storm's already brewing. So this is what Rua's fans are like. Pigs attract pigs, I guess. Without thinking, the words slip from his mouth. Why'd you end up teaming with that pig anyway? Minato blinks. Pig? Kazu snaps back. Ah, sorry, that came out wrong. I meant Ruataki, he clarifies. Minato suddenly steps closer, more nervous, telling him not to say stuff like that. If someone overheard him at this school. It's fine, no one is around, he cuts her. Yeah, that's true, but still. She exhales, then explains. It was the agency's decision. Since both of them are in the same school and agency, they thought pairing her, some plain gloomy girl, would make Rua shine even more. Kazu flinches a little at how harshly she put it. So that's how she sees it. Just background noise to highlight Rua's spotlight. He suspects it's probably Teikai Music, the agency with ties to the colossal Teikai group. They would do anything to push Rua. Even the desk and chair stunt. It wasn't just bullying. It was calculated. Rua couldn't stand being paired with someone beneath her. Then Minato adds quietly, she's okay with being the background support. It's a rare chance she has been given. She raises her head a little with a charming expression and explains that at the very least, she doesn't want to drag anyone down. She will give it everything she has got. Kazu is stunned for a second. After a little bit of silence, he asks, "That's why you came here to practice all by yourself?" She nods, "Yes." "That's pretty cool of you." She turns, caught off guard by his sincerity. Their eyes meet. "Hey, Minato-san," he says, then offers his hand. "I'm no expert, but if you'd like, I can keep you company during your practice. I'll give you whatever feedback I can, amateur or not." She stares at his hand for a moment, then places hers in his. A big smile breaks across her face. "Then I'll be counting on you, Suzuki-kun." And in that moment, Kazuma notices something. She's actually way cuter than that pig. Lunch break. Katsu walks the hallways, 2 bottles of water in hand. Minato has been practicing non-stop since morning. She might be dehydrated, he thinks, concerned. Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the crowd, calling his name. He looks up. Rua is storming toward him, fury radiating off her like a heat wave. "Where have you been? What do you think you're doing skipping class like this?" Katsu remains silent, completely unfazed. Here we go again. Rua narrows her eyes. "Why are you ignoring me? You even blocked me on Messenger?" She scoffs dramatically. No one is allowed to ignore me." Then, with zero self-awareness, she flips her hair and adds, "Is it my face? It's so beautiful you can't look directly at me, huh?" She grins. "Are you embarrassed or something?" Unimpressed, and walks by without even bothering to reply. Before then, another voice joins in, grabbing his shoulder. It's Asano, the baseball club's rising star, and one of Rua's many loyal puppets. "Hey, what's with the silent treatment? Don't you think that's rude to Rua?" Katsuma's eyes internally, looking at him unfazed. Does this guy have nothing better to do? If Asano had this much free time, maybe he should practice instead. He should maybe try following Minato's example. But he says nothing. His silence only adds fuel to the fire. "You mocking me with that look on your face?" Asano growls. Then, without warning, he swings a punch. It slices through empty air. Asano stumbles forward, wide-eyed. Because somehow, Kazu had sidestepped it before the fist could even come close. Asano's fist cuts through nothing but air. Confused, he blinks and realizes Kazuma isn't in front of him anymore. He turns slowly. Kazuma is behind him. Calm, unbothered, not even slightly winded. The students gasp, whispers rippling through the crowd like wildfire. Wait, did he miss? No way, Asano actually missed. That's kinda lame. Is he weak? Kazu tilts his head, voice cool as ice. Is something wrong? Maybe you're just out of shape. That was it. Asano's pride snaps. He winds up for another punch, rage flaring in his eyes. But just before he throws it, Rua shouts, ordering him to stop. Asano freezes, shocked. Rua stands tall, declaring like a queen, issuing her decree. The only one allowed to seriously mess with Kazu is her. She looks down at Asano, threatening him not to even lay a finger on Kazu, saying that he should know his place. Completely confused, but desperate to stay in her good graces, Asano nods. Katsu's eyes. Then turns to Rua. "Hey, Rua." Her eyes light up. "Yeah? What is it?" He looks straight at her. "You think that was cool or something?" She's stunned, unsure how to react. Before she can answer, Kazu's voice hardens. "Listen closely. No one, and I mean no one, is allowed to mess with me." His eyes narrow. "I don't care who you are," he said before he walked off. "Just leave me alone." The hallway stays quiet, until Rua drops to her knees. The crowd rushes toward her. "Rua, are you okay? What's that guy's problem?" But Rua doesn't answer. She stares blankly ahead, cheeks flushed. "That was actually really cool." 1 week later, The underground library is filled with music and footsteps. Minato twirls mid-routine, then suddenly stumbles. But before she can hit the ground, Katsu catches her. "You okay?" he asks gently. She nods, flustered, amazed by how fast he is. He puts her down, and she apologizes because she keeps falling. Kazu tells her not to worry, he doesn't want her to get hurt before the real event. Minato blushes a little. "You're amazing. No matter where I trip, you're always there to catch me." But he tells her that it's nothing special. She shakes her head. That's not true. And explains since that day, he has always been watching over her. He has no idea how much of a help he has been. She bows her head with a charming expression, deeply thankful to him. Kazuma's caught off guard. No one's ever said something like that to him. He tilts his head a little, looking away. "I didn't really do anything special." They return to the routine. He asks, wouldn't it be easier to just walk back normally to the center stage instead of spinning? "I guess," she admits, "but it wouldn't look good on the stage that way." "Do you always lose balance at that part?" "Yeah." Kazu thinks for a second. "What if you just jump back in one motion? Might stand out more." Minato blinks and waves her hands, saying that it's impossible. It's at least 5 meters to the center of the stage. Katsu casually shows her. He bends his knees and launches himself with a smooth, powerful hop that carries him across the space like a spring. Minato stares, eyes wide. Then his jaw drops and stays like this for a while. Katsu looks back. "See? Like that." Minato snaps back to reality, but the shock effect is still on her face, explaining that that's impossible for a human being. "That looked like a trampoline jump." "Are your PE grades off the charts or something?" she asks. "Nope. Just average 3s. Minato glances in disbelief. "Then what am I even looking at?" half talking to herself. He glances at her stance, then starts thinking again. "Your posture's a little off." "I know," she says. "I've always had a slouch. The choreography coach scolds me for it every time." Kazu pauses for a while. Then, "Why don't you use it to your advantage? Make it part of your movement. Like this," he said while clenching his fist in a cat pose. He demonstrates, and she follows. He smiles. "Now go straight into the dance." Minato transitions smoothly. This time, her slouch adds a quirky charm. She lands the routine. Kazu watches, genuinely impressed. She looks super cute like that. Exhausted but glowing, Minato beams. Somehow it's really starting to click. Kazu encourages her. "That's great. Maybe ask the costume designer to give you cat ears and a tail." She laughs with a smile, saying yeah, but then looks down, realizing something. "I'd love to, but I don't think I can." "Why not?" "Because someone like that wouldn't match well with Rua." She lowers her gaze. "My role is to make her shine after all." Kazuma falls silent. "Are you really okay with that?" She nods. "Yes, to begin with, singing while dancing isn't my specialization. I want you to watch me practice my acting instead." She turns to him with a hopeful smile. "I'm a voice actor, remember? I want to perform as an anime character." Her expression shines as she speaks. "That's why I'm giving my all to the work in front of me right now, hoping that somehow it'll lead to real voice acting opportunities." Katsu nods. "I get it." And in that moment, he realizes something. When Minato talks about voice acting, she glows. Full of life. Full of passion. He can feel how much she loves her work. He stares at her, and something slips from his lips before he can stop it. "I'm kind of envious." Minato blinks. "Huh?" Kazuma hesitates, then answers. "It's just, I don't really have a dream or goal like you." She looks at him gently. "Not even one thing you want to be?" He thinks for a moment, then looks down. "If I had to say, I want to be ordinary, nothing special, just someone who can live a normal life and say, yeah, that's me. I'm okay with that." Minato smiles, bright and sincere. "That's totally fine. Since you're Kazuma, I'm sure you could become ordinary, or even become anything you want." That smile, sunny and unshaken, makes something shift inside him. For the first time, Kazu actually smiles back. "Thanks." Minato notices, eyes lighting up. But then she grows a little serious. Suzuki-kun, can I ask something?" He nods, wondering. "I heard you got into a fight with Rua." Kazu tenses slightly, but she keeps going. I thought maybe it was because of me. He shakes his head firmly. It's not. Minato leans in. But isn't Rua your childhood friend? Am I making things harder for you? Kazu's voice stays calm. She's not my childhood friend anymore. That ended a long time ago. So, no, you're not making anything harder. Really? She says, looking down for a while. Then she gathers her courage, raising her head and steps closer. Then, Suzuki, no Kazuma-kun, she says with a warm expression, looking him directly in the eyes, if you'd like, would you maybe? Slam. The door bursts open. A cold gust blows in with a very unhappy Rua standing in the frame. Her glare shoots across the room, locking onto Minato. What are you doing with Kazu in a place like this? Her voice is sharp, possessive, like a jealous wife whose turn ended long ago, but still refuses to let go. Minato starts shaking, startled. Kazuma doesn't flinch. Rua marches in, voice rising. I heard Kazu was in there, so I came to check it out, but what the hell is this? She points a finger at Minato. A trash voice actress who's not even popular. Her tone turns cruel, spiteful. She's literal crap, worthless, dumb, totally hopeless. Minato stares at her. Her shoulders shake slightly from the sting. Kazu watches quietly and wonders. Is she seriously still acting like a grade school brat? Rua rants on. You disappeared because you were busy hanging out with her? Why her? Gloomy, boring, and a complete nobody. But then her voice trembles. Her words crack. I hate it, seeing you two together. Tears start to gather in her eyes. Why aren't you standing next to me, Kazu? Why is it this trash girl instead? Kazu doesn't bother to reply for a moment, and stays silent. But Minato softly speaks up. It's my fault. Kazuma-kun was only helping me. Rua's head snaps toward her and catches her from the clothing. Did you just call him Kazuma? The glare in her eyes turns dangerous. Minato freezes, words catch in her throat. Rua lets her down, and she corrects her words. No, I meant Suzuki-kun. I meant Suzuki-kun. Rua stands with her mouth wide open, shouting curses at her, telling her to know her place. She doesn't ever get to dream of calling him by his first name. She takes a threatening step forward. Getting close to Kazu is a million years too early for you. She looks her up and down. And what's with that creepy forehead curtain? Bet you're ugly under those bangs. Suddenly, she reaches out, pushes Minato's bangs aside, and stops. Minato's face is stunning. Way more than she expected. Rua's eyes widen in shock. Have you shown that face to Kazu yet? Huh? Minato asks, confused. Panicking, Rua pulls out a roll of duct tape. Quick, wrap your hair back up. Kazu finally steps in. That's enough. Rua glares at him. What? He looks at her. Calm, but firm. Aren't you supposed to be in the same group as her? Rua scoffs. She's just support in the group. Anyway, someone like her. But Kazu cuts her. That support member trains like crazy every single day just to hold her own. Don't interfere. Rua stares at him, completely thrown off. You're defending her. She points at Minato, furious. Why her? Why not me? We were childhood friends. Kazu's voice hardens. I support people who put in the effort. Then stares coldly at her, and adds, also, you and I aren't childhood friends anymore. Did you forget what I told you earlier? Rua flinches like she's been slapped. Is this still about what happened the other day? She laughs nervously. It was just a joke. Kazu's gaze sharpens. You really thought that was a joke? He starts stepping closer to her. You seriously don't get how many people you've hurt with those jokes, do you? His voice gets colder. Isn't it about time you learn the difference between what's okay and what's not? You're the one who needs to learn your place. He walked away, leaving her frozen in place. Without looking back, he called out casually, Minato, let's go. Rua snapped out of her shock, yelling after him. You idiot. I'm way cuter than her. There's no way I'm losing to some low-tier voice actress. But he didn't even respond, and shut the door. At the school gate, Minato faces Kazu, apologizing softly. I'm sorry, Rua got upset because of me. Kazu, calm as ever, no need to apologize. He says, actually, you gave me a great idea. She tilted her head, confused. Huh? An idea? He touches his chin. If we poke at that oversized ego of Rua's just right, we might be able to throw her completely off her game. He paused dramatically. I call it a Nyan dance operation. Huh? Huh? The next day, Minato found herself holding a cat ears inside a packet. Suzuki-kun, what is this? She asked. I just found it nearby, Kazu said, bringing their order. By the way, do you have a YouTube channel? Minato blinked. Yeah, sort of. He leaned in a little, then wear that, and upload the cat dance from yesterday, he said. It'll definitely catch attention. She frowned. But my channel barely has any subscribers. I doubt anyone will see it. Kazu gave her a confident look. Leave that part to me. With a dance like yours, it'll work. Trust me. Her eyes widened just a bit. Then she nodded. Okay, I understand. Then, unexpectedly, he asked, have you ever thought about lifting your bangs? She stiffened. Why? Kazu's voice softened. Because you're seriously really cute. Seems like a waste to keep hiding that face. Minato looked down nervously. But I'm scared of people looking at me. I can't relax without them. I see, he replied gently. Has your agency ever said anything about it? Not really, she shrugged. At least not until the group disbands. It suits the support role image more this way. She added with a small smile. Katsu muttered, figures. Rua should they've just gone solo from the start. Minato nodded. That's apparently the plan. This group only exists for publicity. After one CD, we're done. Showbiz is dirty, Kazu scoffed. Then Minato added something that made his eyes narrow. Our agency is pretty much owned by Rua's grandfather. She looked down. When it comes to popularity or looks, she's way out of my league. Are you sure it's okay to go up against someone like her? Katsu didn't answer right away. In his mind, it clicked. This lack of confidence, it must be because of her environment. In this world, people fear losing their position and try to hammer down anything that stands out. There are so many like that. Whether it's school or showbiz, she's been surrounded by people like that. No wonder she lost her confidence. Suzuki-kun? Her voice broke his thoughts. You are childhood friends with Rua, right? And she likes you a lot. That's kind of amazing. He sighed. Not really, it's just annoying. Then casually he said, you don't have to be formal with me. Just call me by my first name. Minato's eyes lit up, cheeks blooming pink. Oh, okay then. Kazuma-kun. She said with a relaxing smile on her face. Would it be okay if you called me a main? He nodded. Got it. A main-chan. Her face suddenly turned beet red. She immediately put her face to the table. He raised a brow. Something wrong? She quickly stands, grabbing the cat ears package. No. I'll do my best for the video shoot. Cut 2. YouTube of. A nervous Minato appears on screen, standing in front of a plain wall. Hello everyone, I'm Minato, a main, a voice actress. Today, I'll be dancing to my original a main Nyan dance, she said, then bows her head deeply to the camera. I would be really happy if you watched until the end. The music kicks in, and she starts. Awkward at first, but slowly she starts to smile. Every move is full of joy. By the end, she's practically glowing. At the end, she takes her breath. I'll be performing this live at an event this Sunday. So if anyone's free, please come watch. Just as she finishes and reaches to wave, her phone alerts that the battery is 1%. The screen cuts off. Watching from his end, Kazu can't stop staring at the screen. She really is cute. He glanced at the comment section. There are some hate comments, but there are real viewers too. Then, reluctantly, he opened Rua's channel. Not because he cared, obviously. Purely for recon. Kazu then clicked on one of Rua's newest videos, just to see what she was up to. And there she was, screaming like a lunatic. Kazu, you idiot. Stupid, crap thrower. She hurled insults at the screen, calling him blind for not seeing how amazing she was. The energy was chaotic, unhinged, and then, just like flipping a switch, she turned to the camera with a bright, idle smile. Hello YouTube. It's me, your Princess Rua. As if none of that just happened. She took a cute pose, explaining it was a bit of emotional expression acting. a spur-of-the-moment performance piece. Were you surprised? She giggled. She claimed she was just channeling her recent frustrations to express some anger, then joked that maybe she should go full-time actress. Her smile sparkled with fake charm. Keep cheering for me, okay? I'll see you all again real soon. Click. The video ended. Kazu stared at the screen, speechless. What the hell did I just watch? But instead of confusion, something settles in his eyes. Fine then, if that's how you want to play it, he says to himself, I will crush you without holding back. That said, Rua's video racked up tens of thousands of views almost instantly. Meanwhile, Minato's cat dance video? Just 50 views. The gap in recognition is undeniable. But even so, the cuteness of this Nyan dance is the real deal. Kazu believes that if people just see it, it will definitely spread. So he got to work. He shared the link to a certain Discord server. Offline, he was an introvert. No friends, no spotlight, no voice. But online, it's a different story. He's the vice leader of a top-tier clan in a popular mobile game. He has got a bit of a network, and he used every ounce of it. 3 days later, Amanda stared at her screen. 500,000 views? Her voice trembled. Is this real? She turned to Kazu. What on earth did you do? He leans back a little. I just gave it a push. But if the video itself wasn't great, nothing would have happened. She looks her in the eyes while he resumes. This is your win, Amain-chan. Your talent pulled this off. She let out a stunned laugh. I'm so happy. Then she adds that someone I don't even know messaged her saying they're coming to the event. Katsu smiles. That's awesome. Rua had been aggressively promoting her event too. Apparently, looks like a lot of Tekai Academy students will show up. Everything is in place. All that's left is for the pig to take the bait. At the underground library, suddenly, a voice broke the air. I'm here. Rua came charging up, wearing cat ears. Kazu blinked, a little disappointed. Hooked her. Amani looked utterly confused. Rua-san is wearing cat ears. Why? Rua didn't even wait. She pointed at Amain and snapped. I saw your ridiculous video. She stormed forward. You think wearing cat ears makes you hot stuff now? But if we are playing by the same rules, there is no way someone like you could beat me. Rua's voice is shrill with confidence, before she adds, it's a cat ear showdown you'll get. At the Sunday event, I will make sure everyone knows who's the real cutest and most popular. Then, Kazu wasn't surprised. They were childhood friends. He knew how her brain worked. The tiny twitch at the corner of her lips. She was cracking under the pressure. Now everything is in place. Let the rebellion begin. Event day. Kazu catches up to Amani, who's already dressed up backstage. She greeted him quietly, still a little nervous. Hey, isn't the dressing room that way? He asked. She nodded. Yeah, but Rua didn't want to breathe the same air as a nobody like me. So, they gave me a separate room. Kazu muttered, that pig. He takes a seat. Maybe this is better, Kazu said. At least we won't be interrupted now. He turned to her. Showtime's close. You've done everything you need to. You've practiced hard. I saw it every day. He looked at her sincerely. You've gotten way better. So, have confidence, okay? She stared down at her hands. Why? He blinked. Why are you doing all this for someone like me? She whispered. I've been wondering that this whole time. Why me, Kazu? He paused, then finally answered. Because if someone like you, who isn't in the elite airship program, who isn't backed by power, can still shine. He looked straight into her eyes. Then maybe it'll punch a hole in that fake wall this school built around itself. Amane blinked in surprise. A hole? By me? Kazu scratched the back of his neck. Maybe it just came out as an afterthought, he said casually. But honestly, from the beginning, I just saw how hard you were trying. He looked at her with quiet sincerity. And I wanted to support that. Her eyes widened. A soft light flickered in her gaze. Her heart lit up. Then Kazu reached into his bag. I made something for you. He pulled it out. A special pin shaped like a cat ear. Amane gasped. You really made this? He nodded. I kept trying to find something that would match you perfectly. In the end, I figured, why not just design it myself? Her voice trembled with joy. Thank you, really. I'm so happy. She gently pinned it on, her fingers trembling a little. I'll do my best, she whispered. Suddenly he stepped closer. His hand reached out to her hair. She flinched lightly, caught off guard. With surprising gentleness, Kazu swept her bangs to the side, revealing her full face. This is how you should wear it, he said. He met her stunned expression. I knew it. It looks way better like this. Her cheeks lit up a brilliant scarlet. She panics with her face turning red, asking what he's doing. To break the tension, Kazu smiled and started talking. You know, I tried changing my look once too. He looked away, recalling the memory. Someone invited me to karaoke. So I went to a salon, got a totally new cut. I felt like a different person, like I had just been reborn. And sit. In light novels, that's usually when the main character gets noticed, right? But me, everyone just pointed and laughed. Maintoar. He looked back at her. But Minato Amane is different. He said it with conviction. You are someone who can absolutely shine. She looked back at him, eyes stunned, heart pounding. You have got a real dream, and you've worked insanely hard to chase it. And then, a knock at the door. Man-san, the manager calls. You're up. Kazu turns toward her, giving out his hand. Go out there, and steal every last one of that pig-faced idol's fans. Ni-sama. Her hands are trembling, but suddenly, she takes his hand, tight. And with a firm nod, her answer was clear. I will. Then she turned and rushed out the door, ready for her moment.